Aren't you so tired of seeing Toyota Hiluxes and Ford Rangers all over the place these days? I mean, no offense to Toyota or Ford, but I'm kind of sick of those bakkies now. So when I got this on test a couple of days ago, I thought to myself, yes, something different on the roads for a change. I'm Friederich. Welcome back to another video. Next to me, this beautiful black beast is the 2022 Nissan Navara. Come check it out. So we have jumped inside summer immediately because, I mean, it's Cape Town. The wind blows 365 days a year. It's just the speed of it that varies. And Mother Nature decided to do the most today. So I want to tell you a little bit more about this interior. So this is the Navara Pro-4X, which is essentially the top of the range Navara. Can you believe there are a whopping 17 different Navara variants available for sale in South Africa? Of course, ranging between commercial and passenger, that sort of thing. The Pro-4X that we have here with us today, this is the range topper, and you are reminded that you are driving a Pro-4X in a lot of different ways. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen those big Pro-4X stickers on the outside. You've got the Pro-4X stitching over here on the seats inside. And how cool is this interior though? I quite like the contrast stitching on these leather seats with the red stitching, the white stitching. It's quite nice. The red accents all over this bakkie actually look really cool, especially with this black on black combo. I mean, you've probably seen the red trimmings outside, the red badging. You've got the red badging, red and black here inside as well. It looks very, very cool. It looks the parts. It looks like a very sporty, adventurous bakkie. So with the Pro-4X, there really is quite a lot of kit in here. And I find the mix of utilitarian and comfort to be very, very interesting with this bakkie, because I mean, you can see that with something like this, with the leather seats, you know, comfort, very nice, very snazzy, all your steering controls, your 8-inch touchscreen, your climate control, and that sort of stuff. That is all very, very nice to have. But then you are still reminded that, like, listen, you know, this is a four-wheel drive off-road bakkie that you're driving with, you know, the four-wheel drive systems over here. You've got all the gears and all the off-road locks and stuff like that with your hill descent control. So this bakkie to me is a very, very interesting mix of utilitarian and comfort. Storage is not too bad either. You've got your cup holders over here. You've got storage compartments in the doors. You've got a center console inside here as well. Hello. Yes, here she is. Here is my Lappy. She's becoming a regular feature. She's a co-host over here on this channel. Yes, there is piano black in this bakkie as well. So I like to make sure that the fingerprints, they stay away. So the interior of this bakkie up here at the front is not too bad. I definitely think that it is adequate for a bakkie. Not the most luxurious, but like I said, it is a bakkie, so, you know, you're going to be reminded that it's a bakkie. Let's take a look at the back seats. I'll sight. See what I mean with this one? Check my hair. All right, so jumping into the back of the Navara Pro-4X, it is a double cab. So, of course, you know, your rear space is not going to be the most generous. I mean, there's a whole entire buck here behind me. But, I mean, if you are, let's say, for example, with a lot of people that buy these kinds of bakkies, they buy them to also use them as everyday daily drivers, commuting around town and stuff like that. And for rear passengers, it's not the worst. It's not like the most spacious, but we know that already about, you know, rear legroom in double cab bakkies. If I sit over here, my legroom's fine, my headroom is okay. Like a handvatseltjie to get in here because this bakkie is so high. Or maybe I'm just really short. But you've got good storage in the back here too. You know, your pockets behind the seats, you've got air vents to make sure that your rear passengers are comfortable, USB connection, all that sort of stuff. It's a good armrest. I love an armrest. There's an armrest in the back here as well with some drinks holders too. So, you know, you can sit comfortably in the back. Not the most spacious, but not the worst. One thing I will say though, which I have mentioned in previous videos, something that I think would have finished this interior off very, very nicely was if the roof liner would be black as well. Just to round things off, you know, with the dash and the seats and the center console and the black on the floor and all that kind of stuff. Because this is, of course, the Pro 4X, you know, it's the range topper, it's the sporty adventurous one, the very sporty adventurous one. I think that a black roof liner would have looked really cool. Not the worst thing in the world, but it's okay. Let me know what you think of the interior of this bakkie. In the meantime, though, why don't we go for a drive? Come on. So powering the Navara Pro-4X is a 2.5 litre turbo diesel engine which produces 140 kilowatts of power and 450 newton meters of torque. That is a little bit less than its competitors. You do have the Ford Ranger, which does have higher power output and higher torque and more gears in its gearbox, but for the Navara it does do a pretty good job. One thing I will say in terms of fuel consumption, and this is where I get a little bit confused by people that drive bakkies as their daily drivers. Commuting about town, the Navara is not very fuel efficient. But what I will say, in its defense, on the highway, it is absolutely perfect. I mean, so far, the lowest fuel consumption that I've received was 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, for a bakkie of this size and a bakkie of this weight, I think that that is absolutely amazing. But I don't really understand people that drive bakkies as their everyday cars. Look, I understand that you are going to do it if that's something that you want to do, but I still don't necessarily understand it all that well. Look, pricing on the Navara starts at 341,500 rand and goes all the way up to just under 813,000 for this one, the Pro 4X, which gives you a lot of spec. However, I do think that there are some features that this car is missing. For example, parking at shopping centers and things like that in this bakkie is very, very difficult. I mean, there is a reverse camera at the back and there are parking sensors. So I've been like K53 alley docking my way into every parking space I've been going to the past couple of days. But with that being said, I would have really liked some front parking sensors on this bakkie. Heads-up display doesn't really bother me all that much. Although, considering you're getting a bakkie of this price point, heads-up display might have been better. In terms of bakkie practicality and bakkie usage, your buck at the back, I call it a buck, you can load, if I'm not mistaken, up to 1,000 kilograms, so 1 ton on the back, and the tow bar that you might have seen on this bakkie as well, which does seem to be an option from what I read in the brochure. The tow bar on the back of this bakkie is an option, but you can tow up to 3,500 kilograms with a braked trailer. Unbraked, the limit is lower, but you can tow up to 3,500 kilograms with this bakkie. Included in your purchase price is a 6-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty, as well as a 6-year, 90,000 kilometer service plan. 6 years is good, although I think that service plan should have been a little bit longer, just considering the fact that people with bakkies tend to drive them for a really long time and put a lot of mileage on them. We came out to country roads today and drove out on gravel roads because we figured, you know what, this is a bakkie, might as well bring it out to its natural habitat. And I've got to say, it's okay. It's not the smoothest, but it is a bakkie, so you are going to expect a little bit more body roll with the increased ride height and such. And I've got to say, I have not got a lot of experience driving with bakkie. So my opinion is very much objective. And I do think that for open road driving, long distance driving, and of course for off-roading with this bakkie, it is definitely an option for you to consider. It is very closely priced to its competitors, with the Ford being, I think, extra like $3,000 more for a Storm Track. I'm not entirely sure what Toyota Hilux's pricing is these days, but pricing does seem to be on par with the competition. So do a bit of homework and check out some of your competition and see if the Navara is right for you. I hope I've answered any questions that you might have had with the Nissan Navara today. My name is Friederich. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, comment down below what you think of the Nissan Navara Pro-4X, and subscribe so I can see you again on the next video. Bye.